Welcome to the Emperor's Rejects, your podcast about all things 40K, and I'm your host Kuyo with my co-host
Foster.
All right, let's go. Everyone is talking about the new big FAQ2, and today we're going to focus directly on how this is going to work with your Imperial Knights.
Yep, Imperial Knights, one of the most popular factions in the entirety of 40K right now. You pretty much see them at every single top table. And today we're going to talk about whether or not it's going to affect them too much and what we think is going to happen in the future.
So right after the bat, if you look at the new FAQ, one of the big changes to the Oathbreaker guidance system, it changed from, I believe, 1 CP to 3.
Yep.
And this looks like this is going to be pretty drastic for how Imperial Knights used to snipe out characters.
Yeah, they're going to have a hard time now, but it was way too undercosted.
I kind of agree, same as you. As an Imperial Guard player, it pretty much meant that any of my characters would die the first round of shooting you had. Like, being able to ignore invul saves, ignore armor saves, and just do D6 damage to any character for 1 CP was pretty much a headshot.
Yeah, it was very overpowering. The only problem that I see with this, and again, this is a minor problem because you never saw this, was for mono Imperial Knight players. It doesn't seem very fair to them, but again, you never saw mono Imperial Knight players. They always took the guard battery, the little 32.
True. Next up on that FAQ list, they just had a pretty much a rewording on how the Thunderstrike Gauntlet will work. I think it was just pretty much just solidifying how it would work after destroying a unit and rolling the 4+. I don't think they really changed any of how the ability worked. So it was just kind of, explaining things.
Now, one of my favorite things on here is that they're asking on the next part of the FAQ is if a model is equipped with 4 shield breaker missiles, how many can it fire in each turn? And they clarify that it's 1, which is really good because it prevents people from doing shenanigans, and it also prevents people from claiming that if I charged your knight, that I can make you fire all of your shield breaker missiles if you've got up to 4 of them in Overwatch.
But 40K is all about the shenaniganeries.
That's true. It's true, but you want to limit it just a little bit.
Yeah. So making sure that you can only waste 1 per turn is pretty cool. And actually, in the big FAQ, they also FAQ'd for weapons like that. You can choose if you want to fire it or not during your shooting phase, so you don't have to waste it unless it's your option.
Which is an amazing change. It's an amazing change. It prevents you from getting just tied up by little guys and then constantly wasting Oathbreaker missiles. And you get to choose if you want to fire at larger guys. Because to be honest with you, if you've got a squad of Wolfen coming at your Castellan with Thunderhammers, you're probably going to lose that Castellan anyways. So you might as well fire it.
Yeah, true. Next up, let's go to the big change that's going to focus on a lot of the competitive lists that are happening in 40K right now. They decided to nerf Order of Companions, which is a stratagem that focuses on House Raven, which is pretty much any Castellan that you're going to see in a competitive scene.
Yeah, I was going to say, you mean they nerfed one of 3 of these stratagems that you use as an Imperial Knight player?
Yeah, pretty much. They changed the stratagem Order of Companions to 3 CP instead of 2.
That sounds like it's a drastic change, but it really isn't. Most of the lists that you take a look at nowadays, they're rocking about 19 CP. It's just a ridiculous amount of CP. So even if you brought this along with rotating ion shields every turn, and you dedicated all of that to your Castellan, you're still going to be walking around with 3 turns of constantly rerolling every single one that you got, and a 3-up invuln save on your massive fire base.
Now, just in case you didn't know what Order of Companions was, Order of Companions lets you re-roll all rolls of one in shooting phase for a Knight of House Raven. So that includes to hit, to roll a number of shots, to wound,
Damage.
for damage. Yeah, it is a devastating stratagem because it encompasses so many factors of the shooting phase. And if you have a Castellan or another knight that has multiple weapons, you're just getting multiple rerolls in one phase.
Yeah, to be honest with you, every time I used it, I thought about green stuffing some golden spiky hair on the top of my Castellan, because that's kind of what it felt like in every shooting round that I used Order of Companions. It's just you're firing off blasts and people just melt.
Yeah. It is one of the strongest stratagems in the game, in my opinion. And I think after the last Nova, they saw how strong it was and how it was helping people get to the top tables. So it makes sense that they nerfed this, along with other issues with Imperial Knights.
Well, it's really interesting to me because the Castellan in and of itself is a dangerous target because people bring Castellans.
Yeah.
You know, literally firing off with a Call's Wrath and your Volcano Lance. You know, you give that Order of Companions, and congratulations, you no longer have to worry about hurting yourself with plasma decimators. You know, and so I think you're getting on average like 7 to 9 shots. Rerolling your ones, you're probably hitting about 8 times. Wounding other knights on 3s with it. Now they've got to make that hard decision. You know, whether or not I'm going to go ahead and use the rotate ions here for something else.
That's true.
Yeah. So, and I think this is a good change. Very much limits what you can do, but it's not going to really affect the effectiveness of your Castellan. So, our next one is our Darkest Hour. Change the command point cost of this stratagem to 3 CP. And this is a good one because that stratagem was ridiculous.
Yeah, I don't know how many people were actually running House Tyrannus, but if they were, they had zombie knights. Like you would die and then come back at the end of the phase with, was it D3 wounds or
Yeah, D3 wounds. You come back up as close as you could within 1 inch on a 4-up with D3 wounds.
which is completely ridiculous. And how much firepower anyone would have to focus into a knight to kill it, and then it would just pop up in the end of the phase. That's pretty crazy. I understand.
The part that really got me was, you know, you not only would have this one for 2 CP, but then when you popped yourself back up, and you can keep doing it. I think it's as long as you don't explode.
Yeah.
Yeah, as long as you don't explode, you can just keep getting back up every turn, and then go ahead and utilize the stratagem that makes it to where you fight at the very top of your thing. So you're just constantly getting back at night, and your opponent's just got to deal with it every turn.
Mm-hmm. And a living knight with full HP because of the other stratagem is just gonna rampage through the opponent's army, and they're gonna have to kill it multiple times. And that doesn't count if you're rotating iron shields again for this knight. So I could see how that would ruin anybody's day or just give them the feel bads.
Yeah, can you imagine? Just imagine real quick a House Tyrannus Gallant running through your opponent's lines, stomping on his dudes, you know, picking up and tossing the Lemon Russes or the dead knights that he just fought. And you get this feeling of, man, I killed that thing. And he goes, no, you didn't. Because I got back up. But we saw an increase on that. And again, it's this one. Let me find it real quick. Again, this is just a 1 CP increase. So if this was a favorite stratagem of yours to use, you know, you're probably bringing guard anyway. So you'll be okay. So
the next FAQ, I guess who's running free blades anyway. It says, can a free blade model in your super heavy auxiliary detachment have qualities and burdens? Yes.
There was probably one guy at the very back running one free blade, and that's his pirate knight.
I'm sorry if you're playing your knights for lore, but yeah, free blades are el terrible, as the Spaniards would say.
They are the worst.
So make them anything but a free blade. Maybe if you're playing Hector, but I don't even think Hector is that.
Don't play Hector. Don't do that to yourself. I got so excited when I first heard about Hector. I was like, he's going to be amazing. And then I looked at him. I was like, no, you're not. Why would I ever bring you? You break my ability to have a night household.
Yeah, the stratagem after that is just pretty much simplifying being able to charge into multiple units after killing a unit. I think that was pretty much words explanatory. There we go. He's an English major.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was the same thing if you were running a House Terran and you decided to attack twice again. You can't attack a unit that you didn't decide to charge, even if you have an extra attack and you consolidate into them.
Yeah.
I guess. Go ahead.
It just doesn't let you use the Death Grip stratagem twice.
Yeah. Unless you declare that you're charging both units.
Yeah. Yeah. But what some people were doing was they would consolidate the 3 that they needed to make it to the next group and then try and Death Grip for the first time. Or I haven't heard some people claim for the second time because it's the same phase, so you can use it, which is just silly in all aspects.
Yeah. So you can charge a unit, kill it, and then consolidate into the other unit if you declared it as a charge, and then Death Grip it. So yeah.
So that's actually all. But the big thing here that I actually want to talk about is what other FAQs have done to help your knights.
Okay. Yeah, if you don't know, we both play Imperial Knights in our list. Mine is a Guard and Imperial Knight list, and he was doing Space Wolves Imperial Knights or a pure Imperial Knight list.
Not anymore. No, and also just as a pure knight player, I look at these changes and I say, oh man, that sucks. But as a person who loves tournaments and enjoys going to them, as a tournament player, I look at this and I say, these are good changes. They're not going to affect the overall performance of what knights play like now. They will, though, for your mono knights. Like, I think in our last game, I've been a Raven player for a while with the mono knights. My last game, I took Hawkshot instead, because you can't be affording Order of Companions every turn. You can't really afford Order of Companions for one turn if you're doing everything that you need to. So, but the big thing actually for me, because when I think of a Night Killer, I think of things that fly onto them. I don't know about you, Kuyo.
Oh, you're talking about the nerf to the Slam Captains?
I'm definitely talking about the nerf to the Slam Captains. You know, being able to bubble wrap your knight with just a couple guys and laugh at the Slam Captain because you can no longer fly over them to get to the knight, or you can no longer charge down a building. Yeah, that's a huge deal.
Well, I think the whole, I'm on top of a building thing and I'm going to charge 0 distance was pretty ridiculous. And I'm really happy that GW said that doesn't make sense.
I am too. It as I said, it makes my knights a lot more survivable. I'm not happy about the jumping over other models though. Like that part to me is a little bit frustrating. That I can't charge over the guardsman to get to the knight.
Yeah. Right now for my Imperial Guard list, I'm running about 80 guardsmen. I might bump that up to 100, but right now I'm doing 80. So I have a lot of strings and bubble wraps for my knights. So you're only going to charge me if I want you to charge me or I mess up somehow with placement.
Yeah, no, it's ridiculous. It's all catechin, and they're there to just beat your face in if you get in close with them. And I'm looking at my wolf lords with my jump packs, and I'm like, you were once so pretty for 3 days.
Yeah, well, hey, now they can get punched in the face by gallants. So I mean, it's the Emperor's happy.
Actually, to be honest with you, this might be a good balance change overall for the entirety of the game. Because let's face it, whenever you look at a Wolf Lord with a jump pack, whenever you look at a Blood Angels captain with a jump pack, or even your basic Space Marine captain with a jump pack, I would say Dark Angels, but I don't talk about traitors. It's always a Storm Shield and a Thunderhammer.
Yeah.
Always. Yeah. I feel like this might actually open up some avenues to help out with more gear options.
So what you're saying is new meta.
I'm saying new meta. That's what I'm saying. I do believe that with these changes, you're going to probably see a lot more infantry on the field. Because earlier it was just let me get my real strong people out here. Hey, what's going on? Let me get my real strong people out here, and I know that you're just going to jump over my bubble wrap.
Yeah.
Now you can't jump over the bubble wrap. So they might bring a whole bunch more on the infantry side, especially considering how many points are guards with?
They have 4 points each.
Mm-hmm. A 40-point squad that is hard to get rid of. Yeah. And I'm actually considering making some wolf lords with dual wolf claws to get in with them.
Hey, there we go. Switching up models, buying more models. GW is pleased.
GW is pleased. That is true.
Well, I think that's all we have for Imperial Knights and how this is going to affect them for the FAQ. We're going to be going over all of the codices, as you may say it, and more of the big FAQ. Stay tuned. Make sure to subscribe and like this video if you enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Anything you have to say?
Bell.
What was that?
I said click that bell.
Oh, yeah. That too. Something YouTube stuff. All right. This is the Emperor's Rejects. Thank you for our first episode, and we will talk to you later.
Bye, guys.
As always, the Emperor protects.